Imagine a world where religious beliefs intertwine with deadly ambition, and a mother's love for her children turns into something chillingly unrecognizable. This is the story of Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell, whose obsession with doomsday prophecies led them down a dark path that eventually led to murder. Lori Vallow married Charles Vallow in 2006. Lori had 2 children, Tylee and JJ, from previous relationships, and Charles was a businessman. They appeared to have a picture-perfect family at first. In 2014, the couple adopted JJ Vallow, a child with autism who was the grandson of Charles's sister. Lori was considered a loving and attentive mother to JJ, and Tylee embraced her role as a big sister. Around 2017, Lori's behavior began to change, according to friends and family. She started becoming involved in doomsday religious beliefs, largely influenced by Chad Daybell, an author of books on the apocalypse.
The police interview of Alex Cox that I did not think falls under hearsay.
Why not?
Why does it not fall under hearsay?
Yeah.
Because we're not using it for the truth of the matter asserted. We're using it in corroboration of the circumstances. Everyone came in and told their same story that corroborates different facts in there, not for the whole truth of the matter.
Aren't you arguing that what he said was true?
I can't say whether another person says that it's true or not, but I'm saying what he said and what my daughter said and what I said in those 3 police interviews determined what the police said, how the police acted, what they did after that, their next steps, how they treated the entire case like it was self-defense. All of those are relevant to the defense that it was self-defense. So, yes, I think they're for that purpose. But I also think that Alex's statements also have a lot of the exceptions apply. 803, 804, there's a lot of exceptions that also apply to some of his statements and not all of his statements.
Such as what? Which statements do you think they apply to?
Specifically his statements made on body cam to police in the driveway, specifically his...
I don't know what the statements are, so that's what I'm asking. What specific statements do you think are allowed to come in under the rules of evidence?
I think under 8031, the present sense impression is his statements made to police officers at the house.
A present sense impression is where you're actually observing something and you're talking about it as you see it happen. So, isn't he saying, again, I don't know what the statements are, but is he saying...
By 2018, Lori and Chad met and quickly formed a connection, even starting a podcast together. Both were married to other people at the time, but their relationship became central to the events that would follow. In January 2019, Charles Vallow became alarmed by Lori's increasingly erratic behavior, claiming she believed she was a god preparing for the end of days. He even reported that Lori had threatened his life, leading to a divorce filing. Tensions reached a breaking point in July 2019 when Charles was shot and killed by Lori's brother, Alex Cox. Cox claimed self-defense, saying he shot Charles to protect his sister, but many questioned this account. By this time, Lori had moved with her children to Rexburg, Idaho, closer to Chad Daybell, where the story took an even darker turn. In early September, Lori, her brother Alex, and her children visited Yellowstone National Park, where a photograph of Tylee was taken on September 8, 2019, which would later become the last known image of her. The following day, Tylee vanished. On September 22, 2019, JJ was last seen alive by a friend of the family.
What happened prior? Or is he saying
Yes,
something
prior.
that he's... Okay,
Correct,
so it's not a
prior.
present sense impression.
Okay.
What else?
Then I think it falls under 8032, excited utterance. He was under the stress of the whole situation when he made those statements.
What was his demeanor when he made those statements?
Upset.
What's the specific statement?
I shot my brother-in-law in self-defense. I got hit in the head with a bat. There was an altercation. I don't know what all the statements are, but
How long after the incident did he make these statements?
immediately after, as far as I know.
Well, immediately to some people means 2 seconds, to other people it means 30 minutes. Tell me what immediately means to you.
As soon as the police arrived.
I don't know did they arrive 30 minutes after the incident? 10 minutes, an hour?
I was not there. I do not know what time they arrived.
All right. So you're asserting excited utterance. Some of these statements come in. What else?
8033, the mental, emotional, and physical condition, because it shows his state of mind, which was scared at the time.
Any others?
Yes. 8035B, the recorded recollection. I know that in the state's reply to my response,
The next day, Alex Cox's cell phone records placed him at Chad Daybell's property, and a text from Chad Daybell referred to shooting a raccoon and burying it in the pet cemetery. Lori initially claimed JJ was safe with a friend, but investigators soon realized both children were missing. Lori and Chad traveled to Hawaii, and the investigation grew as it became clear the children had disappeared under suspicious circumstances. In October 2019, tragedy struck again when Chad Daybell's wife Tammy died unexpectedly. Her death was initially deemed natural, but suspicion grew as the investigation into Lori and Chad deepened. In November, Lori and Chad married in Hawaii, just weeks after Tammy's death, further compounding suspicion around their relationship. By December, Lori's children had been missing for months, and Lori was arrested in Hawaii in February 2020. The authorities began to dig into Chad Daybell's background and uncovered troubling evidence about Tammy Daybell's death. Investigators exhumed her body and soon determined her death was likely a homicide.
they did not think that 805 applied because A, B, and C, but I did not see an and after A, so my assumption was that B and C, since there's an and after B, were what needed to be put together. So B was made or adopted by this witness when the matter was fresh in the witness's memory and accurately reflects the witness's knowledge. So I felt like 803B, 5B, the recorded recollection of his police interview and the body cam footage applies under that exception.
All right. Generally, 8035 is a recorded recollection, meaning it's something they wrote down, or maybe they recorded their voice saying something. Let me ask the state to respond. We're just talking about the Alex Cox statements.
Your Honor,
Maybe I should start with,
Yeah.
does the state intend on introducing any statements from Alex Cox?
Your Honor, I haven't decided if we will at this point. I can say with 100% certainty, we will not be admitting his interview by police that was done at after 10 o'clock in the morning. We don't.
In June 2020, investigators searching Chad Daybell's property found the remains of Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow buried in shallow graves. The discovery confirmed the worst fears of family members and the public. The children were dead, and their mother and her new husband were responsible. Lori and Chad were charged with first-degree murder for the deaths of the children, as well as the death of Tammy Daybell. Lori was also charged with conspiracy to murder her ex-husband, Charles Vallow. In 2021, the case proceeded with both Lori and Chad Daybell facing serious charges. Chad pleaded not guilty to all charges, while Lori was declared incompetent to stand trial temporarily and was sent for mental health treatment. She was later deemed competent in 2022 and faced charges of murder and conspiracy. the prosecution announced they would seek the death penalty for Chad Daybell. Lori's trial began in April 2023. While Chad's trial was still awaiting scheduling, the prosecution argued that the couple had used their religious beliefs, including the belief that the children had become zombies, as a justification for their murders. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon for more interesting videos like this.